Beardos, weirdos, boys, girls, how you all doing? So recently I covered the Hasan issues over on Twitch because I'm so amused. I keep waiting for the EastEnders doof-doof. If you're not from the UK, EastEnders is a soap opera full of drama, over-the-top nonsense, and it's awful. But some people can't stop watching despite it being awful, and that's where I'm finding myself with the Hasan stuff. So I mentioned a channel called Legal Mindseed and how he was giving his thoughts on these things. And Hasan had kind of gone down the road of defaming him. But do I know enough to cast any sort of aspersions? Not really. But Legal Mindset does. And he's covered this video. And I want to watch and react to this. I will obviously be linking Legal Mindset down below. Sounds posh. Andrew Esquire.
Twitch has a brand new Hasan problem, and this one could have huge repercussions, both legal and non-legal. We're going to get into that today. Of course, on the Legal Mindset, we teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and I'm bringing you this fact.
See, now that's an important point that he says there. Legal attorney. Because Hasan has said this guy is not a real lawyer. Well, he is. He definitely is. And to say he's not, well, we'll get into it.
Fast facts premiere, a quick and dirty version, while I'm once again on a short vacation in lovely Phuket, Thailand. So another...
It's all right to some.
Hotel room, another place, but still bringing you the freshest news. So make sure you like this video if you like the fast facts versions. So let's get right into it. Twitch has always taken a preferential stance when it comes to enforcing its guidelines.
Say it ain't so. I mean, they banned Tectone for calling somebody a fat bitch, but Hasan is allowed to call somebody a skinny bitch, and that's fine. Whilst waving a firearm, which is where all this is stemmed from. Check my older video.
Or at least, when looking at its terms of service, has not always applied those equally to all groups and people. And one of the people that gets the most criticism for this, and that many folks across the board have said is the really recipient of a lot of the benefit of the terms of service without the burden of punishment, has been one Hasan Piker.
I can't think why people would think that. I mean, apart from the big happy birthday parade that Dan Clancy had arranged for him, actually Twitch staff singing happy birthday to Hasan, who should probably be banned from the platform, permabanned, because doxing. And the doxing rules on Twitch are very different to the doxing rules on YouTube and the legal doxing. The doxing rules in the terms of service for Twitch state, you can't even access public records and show them.
Now today, there was an absolutely extreme incident which really points out the problem for Twitch in having this unequal enforcement involving Hasan and how this can have legal consequences. This is involving him swinging around what appears to be, and that's the very key here legally and overall, what appears to be a weapon. So let's take...
Appears to be is the important part. Right, let me just speed this up because I don't want to get in trouble with copyright because this guy could actually sue my ass.
Take a look at the video, and of course this is video that I found over on X, which highlights this incident. So we'll take this clip here and give some commentary as we go.
It's time to crusade Iran and Gaza. Mamdani communists. Let's go to war against the left.
So so to give you some background here, it appears there's a chatter in his chat who is made a bunch of comments. Obviously, these are comments that are not fitting with the vibe in the crowd.
Not only is it not fitting him with the crowd, but these comments just should be outright blocked. Just blocked and then move on. Because if you keep reading this out, you're going to encourage more people to come in and do the same.
Of Hasan's chat. Obviously, for any of this, he would have the ability to block and or ban this person. Of course, every single content creator retains the right to ban people out of their chat for whatever reason. Some people are more permissive. Some people are more restrictive. That's really up to the creators on their platform. If they choose to ban people for anything, that's up to them. We wouldn't be here today if this was just a block and ban incident, which, once again, I think there was plenty of grounds for him as a creator saying, hey, I don't want this person here. And some of this language was even pretty extreme, saying, hang Hasan for treason.
That's a bit more than a bit extreme. I'm not saying Hasan shouldn't have had the right to be angry at that comment. To then brandish a weapon, or to act like you're brandishing a weapon on stream, whether it was a BB gun or a real gun, like I said, going into a bank with a gun. Whether it's a toy or not, it's the act in itself, not what you're actually holding.
Yeah, that's pretty extreme. And you know what? Blocking and banning someone for that would be called for. If someone came into my chat or anybody else's chat and said that about that creator, yeah, they would probably catch a ban. They would probably catch a block and a ban, and possibly a report, a broader report. But the response that Hasan gives here is not proportional nor appropriate to these comments. Let's play.
It's not appropriate to anything, really. I mean, I'm glad I'm in the UK where people don't just wave guns about.
in our sincerity and actually delivering for the very working people.
Self-destructive behaviour, harming yourself or discussing self-harm can be dangerous for not only yourself but for viewers and those around you. We understand that streamers and viewers should be able to discuss sensitive topics related to self-harm and mental health. We want Twitch to remain a safe space to do so. However, anyone should be able to talk about their struggles if they so choose. However, Twitch does not allow content that glorifies, promotes or encourages self-harm. We also prohibit activity that may endanger your life, lead to physical harm, waving a gun around, or encourage others to engage in physically harmful behaviour, waving guns around, because Hasan is huge in the streaming world. Huge. And what he's done, whether he knows it or not, and let's hope he doesn't realise what he's done, is rallied the troops.
Sincerity and actually delivering for the very working people who've been left behind by our
So let's be clear. He's
Who edited this?
gone and retrieved what appears to be a pistol. Now, many people have pointed out it could be airsoft or it is airsoft or whatever else.
That doesn't matter. It's the intention. He has gone and got what looks like a firearm, cocked it, and started waving it about and calling somebody a skinny bitch.
The key here is that it appears to be a real weapon. I'll also note, as someone who played airsoft for like 8-9 years as a kid, I had MP5s, I had pistols, I had a sniper rifle, even an airsoft sniper rifle.
Orange tips.
You're supposed to have an orange tip or a marker on the end of an airsoft. That would be not a typical airsoft to lack that marker or remove that orange tip. Even
You can buy them in the UK without the orange tips, so I don't know if that's a state thing or a country thing, but you can buy them without.
Now, of course, some people do that. Some people make more realistic. But the key here, and this is a key that is not just in analyzing this for Twitch terms of service, but also broader for the law, is that you can make a physical threat. You can make a threat or try to intimidate somebody with even a fake weapon.
You don't necessarily have to use a fake weapon. You could put, like the cartoons, put a banana in the pocket of your trench coat, walk into a bank, and then none of you pricks move. You just held up a bank with a banana. When the police turn up, you don't pull the banana out and say only joking and get away with it.
With a fake knife, with a fake gun, with a fake bomb. If you were going to try to hijack a plane and you attempted that
True.
with a fake gun, it would not be material in terms of your defense. You would not be able to say, oh, but, well, it was fake, so I couldn't do it all along. You know, when you get caught and arrested and thrown in jail, you don't get
The same as the banana in the coat.
off because, oh, it was fake. No, you would lead a reasonable person to believe that was real, and a reasonable person could have fear of that knife, gun, bomb, whatever, despite the fact that it's not objectively real. So,
And just about everybody that reacted to this clip when it first hit the internet all thought that it was a real gun.
that's a defense a lot of people brought up, and I don't think that stands up. Let's continue here.
politics compared with what President Trump has been able to do. You know, in the same
this.
period of time that I've been running has been. I would tell him, I couldn't get my name right. We defeated them, and that's what it's going to look like again.
Okay, fair enough.
Once again, brandishing the weapon, flaring it around. Obviously, there's a point to this. Obviously, there's an individual who this is directed at. You know, this is something that's not really ambiguous.
Yeah, this wasn't exactly laying around on his desk and he's picked it up and fidgeted with it. He's looking at the monitor and he's giving it all this and he's cocked it after he's gone and retrieved it from elsewhere in the room. And this guy's in his 30s. Why do you have an airsoft gun?
In the general intention.
As you may or
Oh, you found his account?
Today, I will show you 3 ways you can use your
So here's another crazy thing about the doxing. So now that you've paired, so you've linked up brandishing a weapon, what appears to be a real weapon, whether or not it is, whether it's an airsoft or whether it's fake. You've paired up brandishing a weapon with doxing, which is revealing their private information, which, by the way, in certain jurisdictions, in certain places in the world, is illegal. So you've done 2 things.
And doxing of any kind is prohibited by Twitch's community guidelines, even if the perpetrators only expose information available via the public record. So you can't go online and search people and then show up their different accounts. Oopsie daisy.
Which are potentially illegal. There's the brandishing, the threats, the intimidation, and then you've got the doxing, right? So you've got 2 separate things you're now doing together. So that this is combining to make it even worse.
Wait, this is the guy?
First thing we want to do is download the YouTube VPN app, which we can do through the first link in the
This wasn't the guy. They doxed the wrong person and waved a firearm about at an image of the wrong person.
description.
Do you see that? Hasan just got like 100 gifted and didn't even read it. How ungrateful are these people? Jesus. Violence and threats. Active threats and violence are counterproductive to promoting a safe, inclusive and friendly community. Violence on Twitch is taken seriously and is considered a zero-tolerance violation. Somebody was banned from Twitch for basically saying they were going to beat somebody up at a Twitch convention. They didn't even say it on a stream. They said it in private and they were banned permanently from Twitch. There's a huge fucking leap between that and this.
What are you gonna do, bro?
Use of weapons to physically threaten, intimidate, harm, or kill others. Attempts to threat, hack, dox, DDS, or SWAT others.
And of course, I do like the pop-up there just explaining that this is clearly against their TOS. This is something that is not, holistically, both the doxing and the threatening is, of course, against the Twitch terms of service, right?
Write a petition? Let's do a crusade, he says. Let's do a fucking crusade, he says. Let's hang Hasan and Mamdani for treason.
This is just cringe as shit to watch, but I can't stop looking. Is it an airsoft? Possibly. Is it real? Possibly. Has he just after the fact said, oh, it's only an airsoft to get himself out of trouble? Possibly. But the act is, somebody's upset him, and he has brandished what appears to be a firearm. And then he's gone at this lawyer, which is, ooh.
And he said, the fuck are you gonna do? Go on a fishing expedition? Try to fucking put malware in my phone? Is that what you're gonna do? You skinny bitch.
And to be clear, nothing that Hasan said would be necessarily impermissible. He could say all those things. He could call them, I believe his technical word was a skinny bitch, all he wants. That would have been perfectly fine. He could.
Not by Twitch's terms of service, because Tectone was banned for calling somebody a fat bitch. If you look at the chat of Hasan while he's calling this guy a skinny bitch, people tell him, oh, you got to start going to the gym, bro, and they basically body shaming him for being skinny.
Yell at this guy the whole night, scream at this guy the whole night. The problem was the weapon combined with the doxing, right? All the other stuff he could do. That's his show. He can run it how he wants. That wouldn't necessarily be against TOS to just
Yeah, he would.
yell at the guy the whole night and make fun of the guy. That's fine. Do it your way. Not what we do on my channel. But hey, he can do it on his channel all he wants. But with that, you open yourself up to a bunch of problems. And Twitch is opened up to a bunch of problems because now they've got to decide what they're going to do with Hasan. And in the past, they've only given him slaps on the wrist. That is, they've given him 1 day or 24-hour bans or sometimes 12-hour bans. And that's been all they've done.
And they ban him on his days off so it doesn't impact him. I've also learned recently that they tell him when they're going to ban him. They're like, hey, just so you know, this Sunday, when you're off, we're going to ban you. Is that okay? Oh, fearless leader. Oh, glorious one.
Done with him. But now we've got a serious problem because we've got a situation in which if he is not banned for this, this opens up this behavior for others. So it opens up this behavior, these threats for other people, which can bring on what appears to be real weapons, knives, bombs, and dox people, threaten them. And here's the problem for Twitch. They open themselves up for not just losing advertisers, which is a big non-legal issue.
The ad apocalypse is coming over this crap. It was threatened to be coming over stuff that these guys, that particular, not legal mindset, Hasan and his followers have pulled some weird shit before. Like the lovely young lady that was called a fat bitch. She said that all United States soldiers deserve PTSD. What a wonderful group of people.
Not just looking bad as a brand, because obviously nobody wants to be the platform in which people are openly brandishing weapons and threatening others and doxing them. That's not good for a platform. But you open yourself up to illegal consequences as well. Now, obviously, many people know the breach of contract route. And there are arguments in terms of breaching the contract between the creator and the platform.
So that's basically a better history of what exactly went on with Hasan without his orbit, which are the three ladies that are now currently begging people to pay them, to pay their legal fees, and people are donating the legal fees. Like, this is money for the guy that's suing you because he's going to take it all. It's been hilarious. But here we go. We're going into Hasan's defamation. Fast facts.
Hasan has slandered me, committed some defamation in response to my reaction to what was going on with Twitch and the situation with Twitch. So today I'm...
Now, anybody could come out and say this, but it just has that little bit more punch when the guy is actually a lawyer.
going to respond to that publicly, clear up some of that misinformation, and also talk about some hot water that Hasan may be in legally in the state of California. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and this is Legal Minds, where we teach you to be your own judge. So typically, my policy overall with defamation, with people that engage in defamation, is just to ignore it, is to pass it by, is to really pay it no mind, particularly if they're smaller channels and smaller people, really to ignore that at large. However, when a channel of 1.7 million people...
1.7 million people follow that guy. He had 30,000 people watching him waving about a potential real firearm, potentially fake firearm. That is the type of thing that is going to get Twitch ultimately shut down. At some point, surely Amazon are going to look at that and be like, Dan, what are we doing with this platform? How is this allowed? You're fired. Shut it down. I can see it coming.
people, spreads false information about yourself. Clearly, not having watched a single one of my videos or really knowing much about me, it seems, other than what the most deranged antis might try to cook up, there is some need to respond to that. And also, there is a need to bring up some very real legal trouble that Mr. Piker may be in regarding California, especially as some individuals look to come against him. So first of all, we're going to start by reviewing the defamation itself. And this does come in the form of a video, which I have right here for you guys. And this is Hasan kind of responding to his chat and talking about me and why he's not going to review my videos. And
because he's shitting himself, I imagine. This is just an excuse, but his excuse has got him in even more trouble, and is great.
I just want to start out by saying I love the fact that you're going to see immediately how he jumps to ad hominem, because ad hominem or personal attacks, when used as a debate strategy or when used to rebuke someone, actually represent a concession. That actually means you are incapable of making a legal argument or an objective argument or an informed argument or in any sort of educational argument. You're simply trying to discredit someone personally to get around the fact you lack the capacity to actually argue. And so I actually don't take offense to that. I'm very used to it, having been on the internet for years now. So we'll get into this video and the thoughts by Mr. Piker.
Dude, there's something so funny about people being like, dog, have you seen the legal mindset video about you? Dude, if I were to cover every Rumble lawyer, fake lawyer that actually is...
So let's stop right there. Okay, so Rumble lawyer is very interesting. And I think he may mention Rumble again. While I do have, I guess, still a Rumble account, I haven't uploaded it to years. I don't...
That I didn't know. He hasn't been on Rumble for years, but he's very active on YouTube, so is that defamation?
Stream on Rumble. I only stream on YouTube, primarily as a major platform. I've tried the others. I don't like them. Rumble, just as a comment, initially offered a very good package contractually to stream on their platform, good advertising packages. That fell off way back towards the COVID days. So yeah, that's kind of a weird thing. Now, fake lawyer is interesting, and I want to throw out here that that's possibly the most defamatory thing. Now, I'm going to give Mr. Piker some credit here because perhaps he knows nothing about me or knows nothing about the law. Well, clearly he knows nothing about the law or what words mean. Lawyer is anybody with a law degree, whether or not they're licensed in practice law. So anybody who's gone to law school is indeed a lawyer. Now, attorney is someone above lawyer. You could say that word is perhaps not interchangeable, but similarly related insofar as they're not only a lawyer, not only do they have a law degree, but an attorney has to be licensed to practice in their state. I'm licensed to practice in the state of Florida.
Uh-oh.
So I am both a lawyer and an attorney above that. So thinking about that logically, as a little bit of education, all attorneys are lawyers, but not all lawyers are attorneys. So there you go, Mr. Piker. That's a language. So that statement is indeed false, right? That I am a quote-unquote fake lawyer because I
Oh, this takedown is fantastic. I love it when smarter people get involved.
indeed possess a law degree from the University of Florida. So that statement in the future would be defamatory. And with Mr. Piker, we do have to remember, and with myself and other figures, is that we are all public figures. So we follow the New York Times versus Sullivan standard. We have a higher standard for defamation than the normal private individual. So now that that's been clarified publicly for Mr. Piker, and that he will well know that information is false and defamatory, to continue to do so would perhaps incur liability on the part of Mr. Piker. But let's continue to see.
You've got to love the smile, like it could perhaps lead to you going to court. Pretty much fuck around and find out, but in the politest way possible. Brilliant.
See what he has to say about me. This is fun.
like a fucking right-wing freak that
It is
spends
fun.
most of their time talking about like trans people.
So that's very interesting. So I will say this. Most of my time talking about trans people, the issues I've been covering lately have been the Ethan Klein lawsuit, have been Johnny Somali, have been Vitali. Now, unless you are counting something with Somali or Vitali as a trans issue, which I would struggle to understand how that would fit in, then yeah, that's not at all what my content has been about for the past years. So very interesting thing. Also, I keep politics out of my streams. And particularly over the last year, 6 months,
There's a reason I don't get involved in politics on stream, because it just either alienates half of your audience or approaches or brings in the wrong type. I can't be asked with it. At the end of the day, I'm a gamer, paranormal investigator. Now I'm down this rabbit hole of really bad content creators, and Hasan has leapfrogged quite a few to get to this point, mostly because it's so entertaining, because this is going to go on, and this will cause a ripple effect through Twitch. I'm sure of it. At some point, Amazon are going to be like, what the hell is going on?
Definitely last 6 months and a year, I have endeavored to keep my streams as objective and educational and make it an environment where everybody is welcome. Even people who like Hasan Piker are welcome in my chat, so long as they are civil, so long as they keep the conversation from violating the terms of service of the platform, because I indeed do care about abiding by the terms of service of the platform. That is, you are welcome in my chat, whether you're right, left, center, whether you're apolitical, whether you don't care about politics. It doesn't matter at all to me. I care about the law and educating.
Yeah, I mean, my main channel is about the paranormal. I get a lot of people come in and be like, this is crap, I hate your favourite channel. That's fine. Their opinions, and as long as they're in the terms of service, I tend not to ban people. It's when the threats and the against TOS stuff start that I will ban ban people. I do ban people that annoy me or derail live streams because that's my right as a streamer. But at least I'm honest about it.
Giving people on the law. That's the core of my channel. So let's continue.
I would lose my mind. I would have no time to cover anything else. I get it. A lot of you are drama perverts, okay? And you nut.
Did Mr. Drama Llama here just call people drama perverts that are gonna nut?
When you think about the prospect of drama. But I'm not.
I will say, I actually do not like drama. And in fact, on my channel, I try to avoid drama. In fact, even in carrying out my behaviors, I try to make sure that I am focusing more on the legal aspects of things rather than the dramatic elements.
Yeah, but bringing up legal aspects and pointing out the bad things that people do incurs drama from the followers, from them, and from their haters. It's something that I deal with in the paranormal all the time. It's like, oh, you're a drama channel because you called this person fake. Well, no, the wire pull means that they are fake, therefore they are fake. It's everyone kicking off is where the drama is coming from. And I do respond to drama, mostly because it's fun.
Elements, the interpersonal problems, stuff that people did. I try to focus on the legal elements of a story. Now, sometimes to get to the legal elements, you have to give background, you have to give context, because things don't make sense in context, without context. However, yes, I would agree with Hasan that I don't like drama, but what Hasan tends to define as drama, and what it appears he's defining as drama, is anything that disagrees with the things he's doing.
Boom. Something that any debunking channel will come across.
So by somebody saying what you are doing is objectively risking lawsuits, it's objectively wrong, or for example saying that, hey, your orbiters, Denims and Frogan, they're going to lose under copyright infringement, here's the explanation of the law. Apparently that's drama. The
truth in drama. It's the people that can't take the truth that cause drama.
To objectively educate people on the law. That's a new definition of drama to me. And I don't know what you guys think, Chad.
Going to pay any mind or any attention to some fucking psychotic MAGA lawyer, not a real lawyer, but a passport bro.
So, okay, that's really interesting. Once again, he repeats the defamation saying I'm not a real lawyer, which is indeed wrong. And it's interesting, and MAGA, of course, don't bring up politics. That I've never talked about that at all recently at all.
I don't even know what that is. I don't care what that is.
But beyond that, passport bro is interesting because the definition of a passport bro is typically someone that would visit a location for a short period purely for sexual purposes. And for anybody who knows anything about me, I'm a long-term resident of several countries in Asia. I've been a resident of the Republic of South Korea, the Kingdom of Thailand, the Philippines, and Japan. These are all wonderful, amazing countries, and I do help people obtain legal visas and legal residence long-term in these countries because they appreciate the culture, the lifestyle, the quality of life, the peace, the safety, the tranquility. These are amazing things about living in Asia. And another amazing thing is that, unlike America, and this may be surprising to Hasan, it is not as easy to get away with being an illegal migrant.
Something else I've heard about Hasan recently was he was in a brothel in Germany that got raided, and they were raided because they were trafficking, and he's going to call this guy a passport bro as an insult, knowing full well that he was in an illegal brothel, potentially illegal brothel. Legal stuff was going on in that brothel. It got raided while he was there. So, say what you want about people that go to brothels. I don't, but I don't judge people who do. But if you do go to them, maybe don't go casting stones at people. Just an idea.
Migrant to these countries. So if you try to illegally migrate to Japan or Korea, very good luck to you, sir, because likely you will end up in the cell next to Johnny Somali, aka Ramsey Khalid Ismail.
We've covered Johnny Somali.
Try that in Korea. It's not going to go well for you. So I would insist that perhaps the only person that perhaps between the two of us would be a passport bro is the individual who visited Berlin solely for the purpose of going to a brothel. But that
you got him. You see? Entertainment. I like this guy.
It's neither here nor there. Let's continue.
Who offers fucking courses on becoming a passport bro, who primarily fucking streams on Rumble.
Neither one of those things are true. I do not have a single course on becoming a passport bro, and I do not primarily stream on Rumble. I only stream on YouTube. So, yeah, there we go.
Facts.
Why do you guys come in here and ask for this stuff? It's never going to happen.
And that's the great point. I'm going to leave it right there. It's never going to happen because Hasan lacks the capacity to actually address real issues and to actually respond to legal or objective arguments because he's incapable of doing that. Not only because he's not a lawyer, even a non-lawyer can make an argument, can make a policy position, can say this should be this way for XYZ, but because he needs to discredit others by ad hominem in order to try to win an intellectual argument. And frankly, that's at the lowest level of argumentation. But one thing he really can't argue with is the law. And in fact, there's a California law, which was pointed out by a California lawyer friend of mine, where that shows that he may have violated this statute, 653.2, involving electronic cyber harassment. So this is the statute which reads every person who with the intent to place another in reasonable fear of his safety. So
brandishing a firearm.
If you have the intention to scare somebody else, to place them in fear of their safety or the safety of that person's family by means of an electronic communication device, a computer or a cell phone, and without the consent of the other person, and for the purpose of imminently causing that other person unwanted physical contact, injury, or harassment, by a third party, electronically distributes, publishes emails, hyperlinks, or makes available for downloading personal identifying information, including but limited to a digital image of that other person, or an electronic message of a harassing nature about that other person, which would be likely to incite or produce that unlawful action. So he put out that photo.
Hasan, you're fucking screwed, mate. If that guy that you illegally doxed, but he was the wrong guy, tries to sue you, you're screwed. Hopefully Legal Mindset will represent him.
And he engaged in those actions with the intent to instill fear in that other individual. So that individual could look into contacting California law enforcement, could look into that, pertaining to Hasan, and take action thereby. Very interesting and something for him to worry about, but of course, only if he addresses the real issues. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the
So I'll link Legal Mindset in the description down below. I mean, this guy is smart. This guy knows his stuff. He's obviously sat back, watched, absorbed, and then been like, right, what's this? It is a fuck around and find out video. That's the way it certainly looks. I mean, the guy's grinning all the way through it like, you said this, you did this, but in reality, this. Absolutely fantastic. Love this stuff. So on this channel, I was going to be just doing the more serious stuff, like the Johnny Somali, and I was heavily scripting, and those videos are doing okay for a very new channel, but this is far more enjoyable for me. For all the wrong reasons. It's Car Crash TV, not Legal Mindset. The Car Crash TV is somebody waving a gun about and then being like, it was a toy, skinny bitch. I've also been tempted by looking into the Hasan orbiters. So, in the comment section down below, if you want me to react to this one, Lawyer Explains Ethan Klein versus Hasan orbiters lawsuit, I'll happily react to that, because these three, they have not helped themselves at all. Lady in the middle there is the lovely lady who said that all US soldiers deserve to have PTSD. The lady in the glasses is the one that does the old wake and bake and spent more time ripping bongs than she did actually reacting to this guy Ethan. And the other one is one of the ones that's actually begging. I mean, all three of them are begging now. You know, we need money for our lawsuit, and we need money for this, and we need money for that, and people are absolutely destroying them. They donate in like, this money's going to Ethan. I'm glad to help out Ethan. Whilst I'm mocking, whilst I'm enjoying, this is even worse than the original reasons I left Twitch. Now, I am a very, very small creator on Twitch. I have no throwover on Twitch, so I don't care if saying stuff about Hasan being an absolute dickhead gets me banned, to be fair. There we go. Do please let me know your thoughts on the comment section down below. Let me know if you want me to react to Lawyer Explains Ethan Klein versus Hasan orbiters lawsuit, because it's fantastic. Much love to you all. Try not to brandish any firearms. The people have done nothing wrong. Beardo out.